Okay, we're back, and I want to explain this thoroughly. Let's say I wanted to make this cut, right? All I have to do is flip the board over, and now the head tilted this way can still make that same angle. What I tell people typically is go ahead and mark your 45-degree angle and put an X on the end that's the scrap end. So that way you know exactly where it's at, okay? Now, something you need to know about this saw in particular is that the maximum width of a board that you can crosscut is 11 inches. The maximum thickness of a board that you can cut is 3.5 inches, okay? It's very important to know your maximums. And also, one thing you want to consider is how you cut this. You want to make sure that you're just going through the material at a nice even pace, and you're making sure that you're not bending the blade. You never want to just jam the machine down, okay? Make sure it runs at full RPM, or it's running at full RPM before you start bringing it down and start cutting it into the material, okay? You're always keeping your hands 4 inches away. The worst thing is if you wanted to make this angle and then having your hand in the way over here. This would be a no-no. That's not a good idea. Don't ever do that. Never. Okay? You want to hold this, bring this over. Let's bring this over to the 45, lock it down in place. I'll flip my board over to the angle that I need. I bring the head down to just above the material. Okay? And then I bring this up, push the button on top here. And then I would pull the trigger, and that would allow for it to get up to full RPM before I start cutting into the material, okay? Like I said before, if you happen to have some long pieces, you can either use a roller stand or get someone to catch for you, okay? Angle the head to the right side. Make sure you don't bring the head stock of the machine down real fast. And you should be safe by when you're using this. Also, if you notice that the blade is not cutting the material very easily, that typically means that the blade is dull. Let me know and we can replace it. It only takes a minute to do that. You also, if you happen to have a long piece, you do have this hold down, which is kind of nice. I can bring this over, I bring this down and I lock this in place, and that'll hold this piece of material here, okay? That hold down is for something that's light, or you might want to put a stop block there. You can use that to hold the stop block for yourself. But also make sure that your hand is 4 inches away at all times, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead, click the power back on. I can hold this material safely here, 4 inches away from the blade. I'm holding it down and against the back of the fence. When I go ahead, I have this lined up exactly where I want. I push the trigger down, the button down, then I pull the trigger. I keep the material down until the blade comes to a complete stop. I keep the head down until it comes to a complete stop. Then I let this lift up. Lift this up. Now I have my piece that I cut, and I have my other piece, and now I go ahead, and now I made my perfect miter. Okay? So, this is the miter saw. And I'm Mr. C, and as I said before, I'm not a videographer, I'm a woodworker, and this is your safety demonstration for the chop saw or the miter box saw. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.